Okay, welcome everyone. Today is a special episode. We have the beautiful Jasmin Manke with us. And Jasmin is an international #1 best-selling author and founder of Hypno Dance, Forbes 30 Under 30. And Jasmin is helping so many people worldwide to elevate their health, wealth, and frequency using the wealth being principles to live a richer and more fulfilling life. She has dedicated her career to empowering others to achieve financial freedom while enhancing their quality of life and more enjoyment and balance. So that's beautiful. It's not just about financial fulfillment, but everything. So I want us to talk about this. So welcome, Jasmin.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm grateful to connect with you, and I'm very excited for today's episode. Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome. I'm so excited as well to share this with the listeners so that they can experience some of this wisdom that you have inside of you. So I'm so excited. So you've accomplished so much at this young age, making it to 30 under 30 list and becoming an international bestseller, selling author. And can you share with us the key moments in your journey that shaped your success?
Yes, so I think every moment that we choose to use to shape our success can be one of those key moments. So I feel like this gets to change over time. And I also believe that there's different episodes of my life when different kind of success has been shaped. So my entire work, my entire work purpose has been shaped by one of the most impactful events of my entire life, which was on my 10th birthday, a few days after. I found my father had passed away, and he always worked very hard, and he always really pushed himself. He always wanted to build another, business empire, buy another house and construction and real estate. And there's always so much pressure on needing to achieve that he unfortunately forgot to live the majority of his life.
Yeah.
And it's all about really knowing when to balance that out. And I feel like I've really been in a space when I had built my own, and I wrote an entire book about it, right? I wrote my, co-creating abundance, attracting wealth with ease book about it, which is all about, from fast and furious 7-figure business to an ease and flow millionaire, because there was a time in my life when I had the numbers. I had multi 6-figure months. I had the 7 figures at age 25. But there was a moment when I didn't feel as fulfilled. And I had that moment before when I was working in London, actually, next to Harrods, Knightsbridge. I worked for a hedge fund. And, I had this on paper perfect life. But the
Mm-hmm.
truth was, I was in an abusive relationship. My friends were not the best influence on me. I mean, I believe everybody has their own say what they do. But of course, if your environment is always going out and, talking negatively and negative mindset, then obviously you are more prone to actually stay in that negativity until I decided not to. And I stepped out. It's like the power of stepping away. I don't know if you know this visual of the matches.
Mm.
It's like the power of stepping away, and the next match just doesn't burn.
Yeah.
And I stepped away, and I remember him saying, I'm giving you a few key moments here that are kind of like glimpsing up. When I had that moment of him actually saying, "Oh, please don't move too far on the outskirts," when we broke up, and I was so hurt by that comment because he obviously really didn't believe in myself.
Mm.
And I was like, no, I am actually going to quit my job. I'm going to build this coaching career. And back then it was like laughing, like laughable, like coaching career. Like, what is coaching? It was not really a thing like it is today. And I really thought, I was going to make 50 pounds an hour, and I was going to be the boss. I was going to pay my hotel at night with those, 50 to 100, or like, I was like, okay, like I can have 3 clients or 4 clients a day, which is like 200 pounds a day, which is like pretty good. And, I can sell courses. And I was like, this is going to be amazing. And I kept going. And I mean, now we're here, right? Like literally now we are here 8 figures later. I'm turning 30 this year, and I started when I was 21 on my coaching business. But again, ever since my dad passing away, I didn't really learn from that because I did overwork myself in corporate. Then I built my own business, and I overworked myself again to a point because success is very addictive. It is, that working, that grind, like, oh, one more graphic, one more Zoom call, one more interview, one more launch, one more,
Yeah.
it takes away from the enjoyment sometimes when you do it the wrong way or the old way, I'd like to say.
Yeah.
So a lot of these moments.
Definitely. So do you think kind of maybe it's a subconscious pattern that we repeat sometimes from our what we've seen from our parents, and then we're like, okay, I need to change this on a deeper level. It's kind of, automatic that I need to change consciously.
And I really think that underneath this, even if we change the software, it's kind of like, imagine you're a Mac or you're a Windows computer. You
Mm,
are built this way. You can change the software, but you're still a Mac or a Windows. Like, it's not that you change the whole thing. I
mm,
believe that. So
uh-huh.
I think we have to continue working on our mind so that we don't go back to our default. And
Yeah.
if our default is that, then it's very easy to go back. That just one little trigger. That's why momentum, and I really live according to the 3 M's, right? Of really focusing on momentum, daily hypnodance activations, daily mindset things. Like, I teach this work, I breathe this work. It's every day you get to have fun and prime your mind in the best way. Like, can be 2 minutes, doesn't matter, but those 2 minutes make the biggest difference. And
Mm-hmm.
then really allowing yourself to have that consistent movement, right? We can go more into 3 M's in a moment. But I think the most important thing is consciously choosing to upgrade and not go back to your default,
Mm-hmm.
because we will default otherwise, unless we've done it for years and years and years. And then even then, sometimes you
Mm.
accidentally go back. And that's not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just being aware of it.
Definitely, it is a lifelong journey, and consistency definitely is the key, that it's something we need to practice. So, I want to ask you about passion and making money and wealth. A lot of our listeners may be struggling with making money with their passion. So, how do you personally stay true to your passion while still pursuing financial success?
Just don't do anything that makes you miserable, and then you won't make any money from things that it's easier said than done. But if you really think about it, it's very simple. You
Hmm.
just don't do anything that you don't love.
Hmm.
The only reason we do things we don't love is because we think we need to do them in order to succeed.
Hmm.
If we actually at our core and our heart believe that it is possible to have fun, to love what we do, to fully accept ourselves and not deny ourselves from our pleasures and things that we want, and the niche that we're choosing, the clients that we're talking to, like, if we had the courage to be disliked and we really just did what we loved
Hmm.
and really did it the way we loved it, because there's a million ways to make money. You don't have to have a funnel, traditional evergreen marketing. You don't have to run ads. You don't have to do a summit. You don't have to do live events. You don't have to do anything. But you get to do everything that makes your heart, that brings your heart joy, that is this passion inside of you, that brings this passion inside of you. And then you double down on the things that are working and that are fun. And
Hmm.
sometimes the things that are not so fun are just not fun because they're not working yet.
Hmm.
Right? We spoke about that on our live video a little bit, which I loved.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of the belief systems, right, that run the program. Is if you believe that making money is, it has to be difficult, it has to be by doing things that you don't really like, it's just something that everybody does, right? It's work, it's got to be
Yeah.
done, it's not fun, then you will do things that are not fun. And then when you do have fun, you believe that, oh, well, money doesn't come from this, I have to do this unfun thing. So there has to be some sort of a shift in the program, in the belief, like, hey, Jasmin's doing it. She's
Ah,
doing it. So that's proof, right? So I'd like to ask you more about making wealth fun. You have a unique approach to making the pursuit of wealth fun and engaging. Can you share some strategies or tips on how our audience can start enjoying the process of building wealth for themselves?
yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I am obviously biased, what can I say? I did invent this method. So, obviously, it's the one okay. So, I'm going to explain why did I invent hypnodance, right? Hypnodance, first of all, what the hell is hypnodance? If you
Mm-hmm.
heard it before, I'm very proud of that. Thank you so much. Hypnodance is self hypnosis through
Yeah.
actively engaging with specifically custom created music with NLP, self-hypnosis, binaural beats, different frequencies, and things that I learned, movement to get it into your body and shift your vibration, and also mentorship. Because in the songs and things, there's specific questions and, specific doubt-inducing thoughts that will help you to shift your mindset and go to a subconscious level, because you go to a certain point in your subconscious when you're in that movement. You
Mm,
shift your emotions. Energy in motion is emotion. So the
mhm,
more you shift and change your emotion, that energy, that frequency from within, you are able to attract to you different things. But
mhm.
I create music that is just actually so much fun. And you know what I was thinking, Satora? We could even do at the end a hypno dance real quick. I have one song that could be super hilarious for our amazing audience to actually connect with. Would you be up for that?
Sure.
Because I was like, why am I talking about it? I should just show you and share my screen and my sound for you to be able to even engage with that and just move
Mhm,
with that. Because when you wire yourself differently and you have so much fun,
mhm,
you are gonna want to do that more often because you love it, right? And that's, I think, the thing. For me personally, I like journaling like maybe a minute or two. Like, okay, let's write down like 1 second something, fine. But at some point, I'm so bored of it. I want to move. We're sitting down all day. Like I want to use the energy. I want to like I feel my body. You know when you really feel yourself and you have that connection to your body and you feel sexy, you feel good, you're like, wow, I'm such a like awesome person and woman and man or however you identify as. It's like, yes, and you have that level of confidence and you
yeah.
show up and you bring that radiance to your business, but you just worked out your mind, your body. So you
Mm,
obviously your physiology, right? Brene Brown, like it's like power posing all along, but you have that energy, your pulse rises, and scientifically proven, it will increase your confidence. It
mhm,
will increase it will heighten your awareness and your senses are activated. And you almost feel like a little bit high because you're there. Your pupils open up and you're really focused, like laser focused, and you're ready to go. Now, do you think if you spend 2 minutes sharpening your mind, your senses, engaging your body, you have that confidence and you have that natural, like, heartbeat, that energy, how are you going to perform in your business?
mhm,
So much better.
mm,
Because again, you really created that level of awareness, that activation consciously while really infusing in your beliefs, because it's not just any music, it's not just putting a random song on. No, these are custom designed with frequencies to activate that abundance from within. That's why my members club is called Wealth Being. It's like
mhm,
being wealth, becoming wealth. And you just feel so abundant. You always know that you are never lacking money, right? Like you are never lacking money because it's everywhere around you. It's just always everywhere. It's there. So that's one of the strategies to prepare yourself to make sure that you even believe it, because it all starts with belief, right? It's the most important thing. It's that movement. So, yeah.
mhm. Wonderful. Okay, so you talk a lot about manifesting wealth and abundance. Can you break down your manifestation process for your listeners? How can they start these principles to attract more prosperity in their lives? I know you talked about hypno dance. Is there anything else that you can share
I love it. I'm like, no, hypno dance
yourself?
is the only way. Okay. No, I'm just messing with you. And this is the thing. There is a million ways you can manifest. Like, I am the manifesting queen. I can manifest anything, anyway, anytime. I believe that because I've instilled that belief in myself.
Mhm,
I manifest by feeling, obviously, the feelings. So, like, when I look at visuals, it's like as if I beam myself. Like earlier, I was looking at this beautiful eco-friendly yacht because I think it's horrible. I love to be on boats. And, I was like, I don't want to have a remote because I don't know I want to live in summers because I live in Dubai in winter and I would like to have a place, but I can't decide where I want to be in summer. So, having a boat just makes sense, right? But I also don't want to kill the environment. So I'm like, ooh, like, do you see how I'm spending all this time, like, actually thinking about, like, realistically, like, okay, so how would this work? So I
mhm,
have this yacht. Which size would I like to get? Do I want this? Okay, I want the helipad because my kids gotta go fly to school, right? I want the one with the eco-friendly for the sun because again, I want it to be with engines that actually help the environment. So like I'm gonna do research. I already asked how much is the yacht? Like how long does it take? I was like, oh, it's 30 months. I'm like, okay, fine, it takes 30 months. But I'm already there. I don't know when, how, if it's gonna manifest, but
Mm-hmm.
I spend a lot of time not doubting whether it's possible, and I don't waste my time on how do I get there, how. That would actually completely kill my vibe. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, I just focus on like, okay, this is what I like to do. I enjoy making money. Here are all the ways I can make money. And I actually logically think about it, and then I add the emotion, not on how to do it. So as soon as I go into the how frequency, my energy drops because it's not about the how. We use hypnodance, whatever you use to get yourself in that state, to elevate. And then you ask yourself and you get the downloads and then you act.
Mm-hmm.
But the manifestation process is always getting into that vibration first, like
Mm-hmm.
really get into that energy first, then use whatever activation tool you want to use to get into that frequency. And then after that, you take action based on certainty, on confidence, on odds. It's not a matter of will this work? Is it gonna work? Or something like that. But instead, you just focus on like, okay, I am sure of it. I know this is the right path. I trust it and I continue. And that's a whole different energy and frequency that you build your business or anything, really.
So you talk about kind of like taking inspired action. How
Yeah.
important do you think is intuition, like getting in touch with your intuition in business?
I think it is like literally the most important thing because you have to trust yourself in order to hold more wealth. If you don't trust yourself, you can create, comfortable money, which is like job-based, like normal, like standard, like paying your bills. But if you want extraordinary wealth, you have to be willing to trust your intuition. And when your body says jump, you gotta jump. You gotta take the action. You got to pull the trigger on the post, the launch, the idea, like whatever comes through, you just got to go for it. And that's the only way to do that is if you trust yourself. Because if you're literally on stage or in a moment and you feel and you trust your gut and you're like, oh my God, like I want this, but you then don't go, you miss that opportunity, right?
Mm.
So it's very important to me at least.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Um, so overcoming money blocks. You talked about how, for example, the pattern of like your dad, worked really hard and that's what you saw. So this is what something that you kind of you took from him and you did yourself overworking. So that's a belief, isn't it? I have to work really hard to make
Yeah.
anything or the money that I desire. I have to work really hard. That comes at a sacrifice of my health or my relationship. So, whatever. So that's a belief. So,
Yeah.
what would you say are some other common money blocks or limiting beliefs that you have experienced or your clients have experienced? Um, and how can we overcome them to kind of unblock something in our financial success?
By the way, I love your questions. They're so good. Thank you. You're
Thank you.
amazing. It's really powerful. So I believe, and I think actually let's do this together. Let's really do this. So like, what are some money blocks that you might have? Like, let's actually think about this because this can be an exercise, right? So
Mhm.
is it like, let's actually actively do this, with our listeners, with anyone who's listening, hello, really be like, okay, what is a money block? So I think it is like not wanting to sacrifice my quality of life, time
Mm,
with my loved ones. And that's why I can't make more money because I just don't have the focus. That was a big one for me, right? I don't know, like if you can relate to this, but it's like, I mean, you just literally you're a super mom. You just have a 5-month old and you have your husband and you wanna, probably have quality time with your husband. And it's like it can feel like that's one. The other one, and I'm like really intuitively like maybe just feeling like, oh, it used to be really good but now it's changed, the economy, or it's different now, or like the good days are behind, like things like that kind of energy intuitively. So like the moment we allow ourselves to clear that frequency and we allow ourselves to really get into another state, and I know this might sound a bit crazy, but it's like literally you kind of get out of your mind and you allow yourself to see your whole circumstance and be like, okay, I'm really seeing all this not as me being in it, but like objectively, what is the real truth here? Is it really the truth that the good days are behind? Or is it that I prioritize different things right now in my life and I'm no longer going to beat myself up the wrong way, only beat myself up with hypnodance, right? The right way. And allow yourself to really feel that frequency, that energy, and be like, okay, I'm gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna get into the best state and
Hmm.
state of my life by choosing, because do you know Abraham Hicks?
Yes.
Yes, I love so like, raising up that emotional ladder, that frequency,
Yeah.
getting into this high vibrational state, and then I ask the question, what's my next move?
Hmm.
So, and I created a song. I'm like, what's my next move? That literally is a song. Like, what's my next move? What step am I supposed to take? What's the next step to abundance? And I think in that moment, we then ask a completely different question, because if we're focused on the problem, and here's the thing, Albert Einstein said, the same level of thinking is not going to create that created the problem is not going to create the solution.
Hmm.
So if we keep going at the same question with the same level of thinking, the same thoughts, the same energy, circumstances, and that's kind of on repeat, that's the soundtrack we're listening to. We literally have to change the soundtrack that we're playing in the back of our life, whether it's a sob story and it's like a sad song and music is like, what, it's like very sad.
Hmm.
We then actually choose to say, okay, I'm going to consciously now change it. I'm going to take out the cassette and put one in that is actually more fun. What's the story that I actually want to live? What's the narrative? How am I writing the script? How am I choosing to live instead? So the only thing you want to question is your questions and your beliefs, your
Hmm.
limiting beliefs, especially. Is it really true? Right? And that's how we get rid of the beliefs, because a belief, all that a belief really is something that you believe is true. But if you start questioning your beliefs and you get out of the BS, right, out of that belief system BS, you literally break free from the old things that may be holding you back from generating more wealth.
Hmm.
So when you allow yourself to go through these steps and you really question, like, is this ultimately true? Is this the ultimate truth?
Hmm.
Switch the narrative, you change it. You obviously, it's not the only truth in most cases.
Hmm.
And then you want to, I like to say, like, celebrate to integrate, right? You really create more energy to it. And then from that other state, that's the only way to shift your emotions fast, is emotion, energy in motion, move your body, motion, right? Move your
Hmm.
body, change the energy. Like literally, I remember once I was so mad and I would then put on a song, and this was before hypno dance, and I would literally do like jumping jacks just to shift my energy. Because I was like, I'm not having it. I'm getting out of it. That's why in one of our cards that I've given you, you'll see energy, negative energy. Sorry,
I love them, yes.
so happy. And one literally, oh, you cannot make this up. That's the card I was
Ooh.
looking for. Whoa.
Please, you have to read it now.
Oh my God. Negative energy is still energy. Use it for good. Nothing is bad or good. You cannot make this up. Like sometimes I'm even shook by my nothing is bad or good. Everything is what we make it. Negative energy is still energy. Instead of letting the negative energy hold you back, use it to catapult yourself forward, right? Because you're still jumping, but you can then choose to jump somewhere else. So use the energy as drive and motivation. Go work out, have a dance party, go boxing, go whatever you desire. I should probably add like do hypno dance. Turn it into creative energy, but don't waste it.
Yeah.
Don't waste it, right? Energy is precious and it's neither good nor bad when you learn how to transmute it into true power. It's also where passion comes in. Like, that it's like the energy between love and hate can be quite thin because there's a lot of passion, a lot of emotion.
Yeah, the line is very thin. Yeah.
The line is very thin. That's the one I was looking for. So affirm with me, I create, not destroy. I am a powerful being.
Mm, yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
beautiful. And I love what you just said, and also disconnecting from the collective consciousness because we can hear so much like fear mongering, right? If you put on the TV, like the news or just social media, anywhere, oh, there's something, oh, the economy is like this, or the prices, or this, or that. There's so much fear mongering, and it's like you have to disconnect from that and tap into something bigger than yourself where it feels more expansive and those things don't really exist, so they don't exist for you. So that's really, really beautiful. So you talk about finding your unique mission. That's your mission, and you do it beautifully. So the importance of finding your true mission in the world. What advice would you give to someone who is struggling to identify their true purpose and align it with their financial goals?
I really love this. And I literally have the answer in my hand because I was like, okay, let me pull another card. And this is the second energy card, which is energy creates energy. Get yourself moving and grooving, queen, which is insane. But this is my advice. If you don't know what your passion is, are you thinking about it or are you actively trying things?
Mm,
Because often we try to think to our answers, we're trying to think about the solutions, but you don't really know if you love it if you haven't tried it. Let's be really honest. I saw you love to cook, right? And imagine I'm watching you cooking, but I have no idea. It just looks gorgeous. I think it's like pistachio or something like, I don't know, finaf, I don't know what it's called, but it just looks so gorgeous.
chocolate.
Sorry?
The chocolate?
Is it chocolate?
Yeah, the famous viral Dubai chocolate I made the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, but I don't know if I like it. I've not tried it. Right,
Yeah.
right. And it's like you look at it, I've not tried it. I can be like, oh, this looks so hard. I'm never gonna try it. But what if that's like my favorite thing to do is to cook and make this favorite like Dubai chocolate, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like that's the thing. It's like if we don't actually allow ourselves to try things and we make them happen and we move ahead, and it's not just moving our body, but it's also movement in our businesses, in our lives. I
Hmm.
would rather you try and offer a session and say, hey, I'm going to do a session on love, right? And then you're like, oh, I really didn't enjoy this. Or, hey, I'm going to offer wealth coaching. Let's talk about business and money. Or, okay, I would like to try I don't know, fitness coaching or whatever you want to do. But until you've really tried it, you don't know. And also, the other thing is, I've not always produced music this way, even
Mhm.
though I now realize since I was 12, I would always be obsessed because I had my first like computer from school and there was this garage band on iMac. And I would literally produce music then and I would remix songs. And it blew my mind because it was always in front of my face, but I never realized it. So
Mm,
most people they already know, they just don't have the courage because
yeah.
they're afraid they'll fail with it and they're more focused and they're feeding that energy instead of feeding the potential that if you want it, it's meant for you. It's just a matter of finding out ways that work for you specifically.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. I think the world tells us, when we're kids, we know what we want, what we enjoy doing. From the age of 7 to 12, it's kind of like, what do you love doing? That thing. And then, after this, I think the world tells us, well, no, you need to get a job or you can't do this, that's not going to make you money. So you kind of stop believing that you can have fun and, make a living. So yeah, it's the belief system that has to change. So
May I may I touch upon that just a second because you said something really important. So it's about like it doesn't necessarily mean because it's fun that it will make you money right away. So I just want to be very clear about that. I believe that it's possible to make a lot of money with whatever you want. Yes, somebody invented the pool noodle and he's probably or they are probably a billionaire, right? Like
yeah.
you can make money with everything.
Yeah.
And it literally is possible. You can make money with everything. But it takes time and it takes a lot of focus and attention to believe in something when it's not reality yet in your 3D and it's not there yet. So, is it sometimes advised to have a job or find multiple ways of generating income? Yes, because for example, for me, I built a multiple seven-figure coaching business. However, I also built a real estate imperium. I also have investments, and that's how I generated 8 figures, not only through coaching. And that's why I always like to talk about generational wealth and passing money down and
Mhm.
creating money. And it doesn't really matter if you come from money. It doesn't even matter, where the money comes from. It matters what happens with the money and where does it go? Does it stay with you? Do you compound it? Do you, add more? Like I'm a huge believer in that because I do come from money and I always was very abundant, but I had a very lousy mindset at some point and I was able to lose it all and literally not even have money to pay for rent, and I was like, no, I'm gonna make it on my own. And I rented out my own apartment on literally on Airbnb. And I was living in that 13 square meter apartment in I keep thinking about it. I keep wanting to say Times Square, but it's not Times Square. It's Piccadilly Circus. That's the one. Same, but different. Piccadilly Circus, with the big screens in London. And that was it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out, make it on my own. So even if you have a lot of money but you lose it all, it's because the mindset and your belief to hold it is off. Same
Mm,
with, you might have a passion and you want to do it, but if your belief around money and making money is hard, then let's make sure you have money first, get a job, do whatever you got to do, invest in something, get a coach, invest in mentorship, bet on yourself, and then I do believe you can make money. But you have to be willing to really have that tenacity and that drive to follow through. And
mm,
that might feel like doing things that you don't love and aren't fun yet, but it's just because they're not, in your opinion, working yet. That's why most things aren't fun. It's because they're not working for you yet. But if you do the same thing and you make a lot of money with it, I bet it's going to be very fun for you. So it's about getting better at the things and
yeah,
trusting the process and enjoying it.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And also, eventually that was something that your soul is fulfilled. Like you
Yeah.
are doing something in the world that is helping people or it brings a fulfillment in you
Yeah.
by creating impact. So, how important would you say mentorship is in doing this and achieving this, right?
So these are the three M's, right?
Mhm,
Momentum.
mhm,
So you need something that you can do consistently, that will you will consistently get better. It's like that momentum. It will be much easier when you have momentum going on, and that's what we want to do. Then it is movement. So moving yourself and your business and moving forward. And the third M is mentorship.
mm,
I believe if you want to collapse time, if you want to save yourself thousands of dollars, precious time that you will never get back, ever, like in this lifetime, you won't, probably, and I mean, not invented yet. And if you also want to save yourself a lot of energy and just precious moments and you want the shortcut, my private clients always say, having a mentor is like a cheat code
yeah.
because you just receive those downloads, this information. And I mean, I know you and I, we both have beautiful mentors, and I always have a private mentor that I've worked with for years now, and it's so important because I know the potential of being in close proximity because you really become who you surround yourself with. So you want to choose wisely and you want to really focus on, the sum of the, I don't know, 5 people that you spend most time with, you become them. So
Mhm,
make sure that you really surround yourself. And even now, listening to this podcast, this is technically mentorship. And it's beautiful that you're listening to this and you're here right now. If you're listening, hello. Then it's just allowing ourselves to fully embrace that energy and connect, and that already is mentorship. But I mean, definitely mentorship is so important. And I'm going to say to that, whether it is mentorship from someone else or self-mentorship. And that's why I'm going to bring it up again. Hypnodance really allows me to get into a state to
mhm,
elevate and receive the mentorship from my higher self.
mm,
Because
mhm,
it's that time, it's like we already know, it's like that's the intuition, it's that connection, right? Things like that. It's like it's amazing and feels so good to really be in that frequency of like, oh, like amazing, like I have all the answers within me. I am unstoppable. So it's just a tool, whether that is cooking, you can cook, and I get into this meditative state. I cook 3 times a day. I love it, you know? So like I really
mhm.
enjoy like cooking, and that's a meditative thing for me, and it connects me and I get beautiful ideas. So like there's so many ways you can do that, but mentorship is the most important thing, whether it's from yourself, your higher self, or someone who has already got the results that you want. It's very important.
100%. And even like you said, people listening to this podcast, it's an energetic transmission, it's an activation. Whether it's free content or a course that you buy or work one to one with a mentor, it's an energetic transmission. And of course, it has to be more consistent where you actually tap into your own higher self and you get downloads for yourself every single day because you can't have a session every single day with your mentor, right? So if you have if you create that within yourself, then of course you will achieve your goals. And of course, a mentor that has already achieved a goal that you desire, then that will speed things up for you.
100%. Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
yes. Did you want to say something?
No, I was just thinking about which song I would love to play with you.
So the next question I have for you is we spoke about this a little bit, the hustle and the flow. So there is a lot online about the hustle culture versus the flow based approach to success. How do you balance working hard and allowing things to unfold naturally? Because I know there is the extreme of one or the other, the masculine and the feminine, and there's a talk about being just the feminine. And Or, you know, if you're exhausted, if you're burnt out, then you're in your masculine energy. How would you say you kind of think about this? How would you explain this?
Absolutely. I love this. So I've gone both extremes. I've gone to the very much like overworking hustle culture, like working myself like to the bone, like crazy, to I am in feminine energy. I'm not doing anything, la la la, manifesting money, which also was fun for a while, but it wasn't very fulfilling, if I'm really honest. It didn't feel that good actually at some point because I wasn't I wasn't as passionate, you know, and I think it really depends on our season.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to give an answer where it really depends the mixture for each person. It could be, let's imagine it's 100% energy. I talk about this all the time. It's like we have 100% energy. And let's imagine this is your work energy and your frequency, right? So it's like, imagine it's like 30% flow and 70% hustle this week because there's a launch coming up. But
Mm-hmm.
then next week, it's more like 60-40 because you know you don't want to push yourself too hard. And then it's like, okay, now we're on holiday and it's like 20% hustle, you're checking a few emails, but 80% is flow. So I don't really think about it's like consistently all the time, 24/7 should be the same. I really believe we get to design our life and create wherever we want to. Right now, in this season of my life, I am very much focused on my work and I'm obsessed with it. Like I went out yesterday and I was just like, oh my God, I just want to go home again. I want to work. I have so many exciting things. I just spent time with my producer. We're producing new songs. It's like I'm so happy and I love it, and that's the season I'm in. But then next week, I'm gonna fly to Saint Tropez. I'm gonna be in Monaco. I'm gonna be in Cannes. So I'm not gonna be in hustle mode for then. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just the vibe that I'm in right now. And then it kind of always balances it out. And I think I really allow myself to always check in with myself. How am I feeling? And then obviously we have cycles as women, and like there's so many components. So I wouldn't necessarily measure with anyone. I would just really ask yourself, what season am I in right now? What am I driving, you know, the needle on? Like imagine if we're going on my honeymoon, I'm not gonna now focus on business work. I'm gonna structure my business in a way that I don't have to work, but it doesn't compromise my income as much, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
If possible. So as much as possible, I'm going to plan for these things.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this. Okay, we talked about your daily practice. I know it's hypno dance, of course, but is there anything else that you have, you know, to stay focused and motivated and aligned with your goals? Anything else that you do? Any other practices?
So, oh, okay, so if I can recommend like a JM medicine, like every day, let's say you spend 5 minutes on hypno dance and you get yourself focus on the energy. When I work, I stay focused with the binaural beats. We have them available as well because I make sure that I work in increments and I'm really focused in the sessions. So I know exactly how long am I working? Am I hydrated enough? I'm really taking care of me. I really live by the well-being principles where I'm really nourishing my body, my mind, my soul, and I'm really allowing myself to have that. Then I also make sure that I get enough movement. So I go on walks, I have a walk pad, I make sure I air the entire place out all the time, you know, and I always make sure I get sunlight as much as possible. So I do really take care of myself so that I can really work hard and play hard and live my life. Because it really is a body. It's like we got gifted this beautiful body that we have, and we get one. It's not like a car you can buy new tomorrow. Like, and sometimes people treat their car better than they even treat their own bodies. And it does have a lot of effect on your capacity to hold more wealth. This is what I work on with my higher level private clients, that like they want to compound wealth. They want to like expand, they want to hold more, they're ready for better strategies, they're ready to like really, you know, live their best life. They want to enjoy the money that they're making.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is also if you're healthy, financially healthy, emotionally healthy. Because let's say you have a lot of money and you are physically kind of healthy, but you have a drinking problem. There's
Mm.
nothing wrong with that. It's just something that we want to look at. So we can take you from under the influence of substance, whatever you're addicted to or you've making a habit out of, to source and allowing yourself to really feel in that flow and feel that natural high, you know. And my next song is called High on Life, and it's like getting high on your own supply, which is like air. And it's really allowing yourself to move because, you know, after a lot of work in the day, we all want to escape, like that mind, that oozing, that numbing, that, and it's not something bad, it's natural because we want to wind down, we want to like relax. And if we can find better ways to do that in a natural way or without doping ourselves with caffeine, there's not going to be that crash. And I truly found that the cheat code for me personally and my clients that have manifested success in all areas of their life and fulfillment, right? Love, meeting their soulmates, meeting insane money goals, and just really rising above. It was the foundation of being healthy. Again, financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because
Mm.
then we're open up to life force and we can hold more wealth.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to, even if you want 1,000 clients, but if you don't trust yourself and you don't have the capacity for it, you will block it in your energy.
100%. I agree with you, and especially physical health. There are so many people struggling with gut health issues, for example, and it's like that creates so much mental issues like anxiety, and it's like blocking you energetically, and it's ruining everything. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, taking care of your physical body as well,
Yeah.
definitely, learning about nutrition and all those things,
Yeah.
and gut health, of course, balancing the microbiome and everything is really important as well. Okay, so um, as someone who is always evolving, what's the next step for you? What are your future goals and aspirations, and how do you plan to keep pushing boundaries?
Um, I think right now, this is a beautiful question. So I'm really focused on my Wealth Being Members Club right now because I figured, okay, I want to really double down in helping more people worldwide connect.
Mm-hmm.
So the Wellspring Members Club is like the number one thing that I'm focused on because I really want people to be able to connect on a way with other freedompreneurs, conscious millionaires, people that want to really live according to the wealth being principles and really connect with their hearts, with their beings and really have more fun together. And I mean, that's really what I'm focused on right now. And obviously, producing music, it's like, okay, this is the vision, this is the goal. Making Hypnodance a household name where people worldwide are using the principles, they're healing themselves, they're having more fun, they're manifesting their desires with shortcuts in warp speed. They just call them in faster. I feel almost responsible that it's like, this is my job to get, like, I got gifted this idea and so many people did as well, and we're all light workers and working together. I'm not the only one who had this idea, I'm sure. But it's just, what am I doing about it? How am I being of service? How am I making sure more people know about it? How can I help more people? That's really my goal right now, is just to really help people. Then
Mm-hmm.
there's another thing that I'm working on, which is a nonprofit to help people go from under the influence of substance to source. So this is anyone who's kind of like addicted to something, or it's like doesn't know how to deal with their emotions, they don't know how to get out of that. And we're currently producing some tracks to really help people get out of that. And like in rehabs and things like that, like really help them to build solid, long-lasting change, because this is just something that I believe everybody deserves to be free of their mind and really feel like they want to live and they feel excited about life, they feel happy, they feel fulfilled, they feel loved, they feel capable, feel
Mm.
needed. So there's just a couple of things that I'm working on, and they're all connected. It all stems from, that overflow, that movement, that mentorship, that, real life momentum that we create every day. So yeah.
So beautiful, so beautiful because I can sense, sometimes you can scan the energy of like everybody in the world and people who are struggling, and it's like I have so much compassion for people who are struggling with addiction and things like that. And sometimes it's in a place where it's difficult to come out of. So you're doing such an amazing job. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
that. It's beautiful. So finally, there's one piece of advice you wish you had received when you were just starting out. And what would you tell aspiring entrepreneurs who want to create wealth while living a fulfilling life?
Yeah, so this is it's something that we really, focused on yesterday as well, where it's like, whatever you're doing is good enough now, built from overflow.
Yeah.
Like that really, really resonates of like, it's good enough now.
Mm,
Like you are good enough now, and whatever you're doing is good enough now. And
mm,
what else would you like to do from this place? Like it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And I mean, that really shifted my life. Like just
yeah.
feeling like it's good enough now, and it's good enough now, and it's like it's amazing. And what else do you want to do? And it's good enough now. And really being focused on like, okay, in this moment right now, focus on what you already have and like wanting what you have. Like that just blew my mind yesterday. Like
Yeah.
on the training that we were on, it was so powerful because I was like, wow, like I wish I would have known that like 10 years ago. I wish somebody would have told me back then. And I'm so glad I know that now, of like really allowing myself to want what I have. And I feel like the fact that, I get to have lunch with my grandmother every day, who's turning 88 next year, and on the phone to my
Oh,
mom, who's
so adorable.
visiting her best friend in, Nigeria right now for her 60th birthday, and just being together with my family, and having my cat Foxy, and then hanging out with you, and hosting this podcast, and then, soon hosting another mastermind call. Like, these beautiful things are just so amazing, and just living life and loving life now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, enjoy every stage. Don't just trust the process, enjoy the process.
Yeah. It was so powerful. I really loved that lesson, and it just reminded me as well. It just because we forget sometimes, right? We forget. And like you said, if I knew this 10 years ago, I would have lived so much more. I would have lived so much more. And I loved um, the what was it? The story that she said about when she was sitting in her car and the
Yeah.
snowflake moment. She just saw a snowflake coming slowly in her most difficult time of her life, and it was such a beautiful moment of presence, and I was just, I felt that. And it's like in the most difficult time of your life you can have a moment like that. You can have a moment to appreciate and be present and be in your body. And I've had moments like that, and I'm looking for more. Every day, every second I'm looking for a moment like this.
Mhm.
So yes, this is a moment like this right now, and I appreciate you so much for being here. So thank you so much for being here, for for our listeners, and to inspire them, and to show them the way, to guide them, and to invite them to your world. And potentially they can come and learn more, and that's such a beautiful thing, so that they know what's possible. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And if you want, I found a song that is 1 minute 48 long, and it's called Power Up, Take the Shot. And I feel like from our conversation, this would probably be a beautiful activation that I'd love to gift all of our listeners, so that they can listen to this and really move forward. It's all about taking the shot and trusting themselves for the next step. Shall we go ahead and play it?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I need to go ahead and share. I need to just be able to get my share one as well. So I'm gonna actually stand up for this, because I'm gonna get into my body. This is actually me real time preparing for my next thing.
Oh yes, you said you need to leave, right?
Yes, do you mind if I get the share permission, and then we can play? So you just have to allow me to share,
Oh yeah, sure.
and we can go ahead. And this is what I do before my meetings, if I'm ever concerned about anything. This
Do
is
I need
how.
to make you a co-host? Yeah.
Sure.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Amazing. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share sound as well. Advanced. Yeah. So we'll do a little activation. I'm so excited for this. This is the portal. I don't know if you can see it, okay?
Yes, I can see it.
Amazing. All right. I know we didn't expect this, but I love doing things that are unexpected. So, right? Okay, perfect. So
What
let's
do
go.
I need to do?
If you want to join me, I'd love that if you feel up for it. Enjoy yourself in the energy of the movement, and just, move to it, whatever feels good to you.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see. Amazing. It's just like a minute 45, and we just connect to it, and we just move a little bit in case you want to move, but it doesn't matter how we move. It's just about getting into our body and feeling it, because the more motion we add to it, the more it actually becomes part of us, right? So,
Yeah.
okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Amazing. Yay! Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now before we get started, everyone, think about something that you have been putting off, that you know you want to go for, and you trust yourself now after the song. That's the goal. Okay? Perfect. Guess what? You miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. So guess what? Every shot you take, you get better every single time. Think about your target right now. Think about
what is it that you want? Think about what is the outcome. Picture it in your mind right now. Focus on taking the shots, the action, the forward movement to go forward. Take the action every single day. Focus on taking the action right now. How are you walking? How are you talking? What are you wearing? Who are you being? Show up in your fullest power right now. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Take the shots, it's not too late. Move up now. Take the action now. And don't think about the how. God, Mother Nature, the universe always has your back. Take one step closer, to take one step closer every single day. You are on your way. It's time to power up, power up, power up right now. You got this. I believe in you. From Jasmin with love.
Woo!
So it's like we're more likely to take action. How are you feeling?
That was good. That was really good. Energizing. Energized.
Better than a shot of caffeine with a side of anxiety.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
See, life force energy feels so much better. You feel so fresh. You feel so awake. And maybe now you can see why I'm so obsessed with all my music.
Yes, it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
so blessed. Thank you for having me. And if anyone wants to hear more tracks or needs something, just message me, Satoda, so that I know you come from Satoda's platform. And I'm happy to give